Yes. Okay, welcome to Jestedus, Jestedus edition 3500. I don't know. We're going to move a few spec files, and as you might know from previous recordings, or in case you don't know, we have a JS CodeShift codemod that does a lot of the work for us. And Justin, who isn't here, said, let's move all of view shared. So the thing that we need to do, if I remember correctly, we need to, let me increase the size here a little bit. We need to go in and copy our tests. So we go into spec, and we are just going to copy everything that's under spec. Oops, no. Copy. JavaScript is the old one, right? View shared.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to copy it into, we need to do it recursively because it's a folder, obviously. And we're going to have a front end view shared. Obviously, we already have a folder, so I'm just adding new at the end of the folder for now. And then, we have it easier selecting like the files that we want to test to migrate, and then we can move them to the already existing folder bit by bit. Cool. Okay, so here we need to do we need to go into the folder that we've just copied, view shared new. And that should take care of us. 35 files, that's good. Multiples of 7s, always nice.
It looks like you're tackling a lot today.
Yes, exactly, that's the plan. 17 unmodified, 18 okay. So, Paul, if something like this happens, does it mean it just stops doing everything? Or
I have no idea what this seems like a warning. So I think it has not. Sometimes it'll error out and it'll stop doing everything. But it looks like it said 35 files and 17 plus 18 is 35. I feel like it did what it should. But some things are unmodified and we just get for free. So I would maybe run this directory and see what things we can just move over first without any changes.
18 okay. It's funny that okay means modified, right?
Right.
So let's
one thing I just realized, and we can actually, and we might want to pair up on this if you think this would be a helpful thing to do. We should probably add to our JS CodeShift replacing spec helpers with helpers.
Okay.
Because that's something we can just search and replace, or we can add it to the CodeShift if we want to dive into that. What do you all think?
I can also dive into that. Let's just run the tests and maybe move the stuff that what do you mean spec helpers? You mean like this with the other one, right?
Yeah, that alias is only used in Karma.
And it just needs to be helpers, right?
Yeah, and me and Justin did this earlier, and then it doesn't seem like we ended up actually pushing it up. So.
Okay, I mean, I wonder how hard it is. I always wanted to write a code shift, so let's.
Yeah, it's not hard. Yeah, especially.
I also, one of the things you probably should do before you do it, you should pull the newest version, right? There's a patch.
Oh man, I don't know what that is.
I have a dumb question. What do we use CodeShift for?
So we basically, oops, now something happened. Opened another, where is it? So CodeShift is basically, you traverse the abstract syntax tree of a code file and change stuff. So for example,
so we're using this for the auto transformation?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, this is actually, Facebook developed this, and I think they've developed this because of React, because I think they have a pretty cool standard in their team. They say, if the React team does a breaking change, the React team is responsible of fixing the breaking change across all of the Facebook code base, right? And so, because often it's like you change the order of arguments in a function or whatever, and then people, start
Don't want to end up like Angular or Python.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
jump into the README.
Yes.
And if you jump to the bottom of it,
yes,
there is a thing that says, "I really want to contribute."
Yes.
And I do not. Yes, check out AST Explorer, or we'll be really shooting in the dark.
Okay, that's a sufficient answer. Thank you.
But by the way, AST or AST, AST, the German word, means branch, which is kind of interesting.
Oh wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'm just going to put this in here, and then we should have the part of the AST. It's an import declaration.
Yep.
Where the source is a literal, and we want to replace the value spec helpers just with helpers, right?
Yep. That's what we want to do.
Doesn't sound too hard.
Nope.
Require helpers import path. How does that sound?
Sure.
Okay.
So I would maybe go off of this one. It's pretty simple. The set immediate that changes it to set timeout.
Import path. Okay, we want to find an import declaration, right?
Yep.
Filter. Okay.
We can also you can also modify it in place too. So this one was we were filtering something and then completely replacing the call. We can also just modify this as well. So we want to find all import declarations. I think you can do for each. It looks like, okay, well, I don't know.
For each.
Chad and I were talking about TypeScript the other day, and he's probably laughing at me of like, yeah, you wish you had types now, Paul.
What I was just thinking is like how I learned COBOL in school. I've never had a compilers class, and ASTs kind of scare me. I'm much more of a have learned in the trenches programmer.
Why are you still here given that COBOL programmers are in need then?
Grace Hopper was pretty awesome.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So what do we have here? So we have something here, right?
Yeah, we have something here. So what we want to get is the
source.
If we go to .value, then we get our node, and then it looks like we want to change our source to a new
x value source value, right? Replace, and then we just do like, I don't know, spec helpers with helpers.
I would go so we have our value, and then I would want to replace our source. Oh yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I know. Yeah, you're right. That should be it.
So the value is just a string of the import.
Oh, it expected what? Where? Transformation? Did we break something? Oh no, that's the Jasmine functionality, right? That's broken, but it didn't do anything. I assume that we probably need to do like a map.
Man, I wish Justin was here, and I wish he'd share us that branch that we worked on, because we were able to do it really quickly. Let me look. There's also some really good examples of code mods out there. Let me go find one.
Okay. It gave us errors.
Okay. So
codemod replace import path.
So go to the JS code shift GitHub README. Or yeah. Oh wait, or like here. So you see they're doing replace with.
Yeah, so they're doing a replace with, right?
Yeah, and so we could replace it and create a new one, kind of based on that one, and create a new literal. Like it's pretty straightforward, but it's a lot. There's an easier way. Let me explore for a quick minute. But if this ends up taking too much time, let's
import declarations. So they search for import declarations. They sort them. We don't care about sorting. And then in the import declaration, replace with jimport. So they create a new one, right? And they say new import specifiers. What's new import? Oh, wow. I don't know. Absolute. Scrolling. Call expression. Remove. Find, remove to source. Codemod. Where was the example here?
Let's try this out. If we go, all right, can we try shooting? Can we try something, a change to our code?
To our code?
Yeah, if we go back to the helpers import path.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I meant the code shift. The Jest is code mod.
Yes.
Okay, and if we go to the helpers import path.
Yes.
Okay, let's just console log that we can get the right value out. If we do console log x.value.source.
Yeah, I also saw that I did the wrong assignment.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a replace with.
And you could do it that way. I know you can also you can manipulate. Yeah, so we're getting all these things.
It worked.
Yeah. So I think it looks like we need to replace the value source dot value.
Yeah, and it worked.
Oh, and it worked. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, so that
cool.
was the issue. So the one thing I guess to keep in mind with doing this AST stuff is everything's wrapped. Like if you looked at that tree, you have a reference to the node, which you can get like the parent from. But if I also want to get that individual item in the node, I have to do dot value. And so you have to, if you want to replace something, you can do node dot replace with. But if I want to modify that thing, I guess I have to unbox it with dot value a lot. But
it's
nice.
like analogous to like a text value in HTML.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, a few of those are actually passing, right?
Yeah,
so
that's great.
14 are passing. Which ones are passing?
And there's a few others. If you scroll to the very bottom, there's another thing we can adjust too. Some of these imports aren't working. You see it says spec IDE helpers, and Jest, that's just we've replaced it with Jest IDE helpers.
One thing after another, right?
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Which components are working here? Components, pick a day, markdown toolbar. Oof, that's obviously rough. Is there like a way to get like the list of all that worked? No.
That's a good question.
I think it's just like the components. Okay, toggle button, the pick a day worked. The filtered search drop-down spec is working. The stack progress bar is working. The CI icon spec is working. Badge link is working. Drop-down we already had, right? So we can already move these into components.
Woohoo!
So. Okay. What else is working? Navigation tabs, header CI, Content viewer, protect avatar, pass. Markdown toolbar. What's with the other markdown file? Markdown toolbar. The other one is obviously failing. Do we already have markdown in here? Yeah, we have markdown in there. So header CI component spec, those can go. The markdown toolbar spec is working. So we can move it to markdown. So what else is passing? I think we should just start focusing on the ones that don't pass, right?
Okay.
19 failed, 5 passed. I mean, or we moved the last 5. Content viewer, project selector, content viewer, and project selector. So content viewer is working.
Sweet.
Hey, we migrated to first folder. And project selector, which one was it?
Project list item.
List item, right? So, and there is no project selector yet. So let's focus on the one that might be not failing. Copy from, copy. Yeah, I think this one is the right one. Oops. Let's see if that, project selector spec.
Yeah, this is the one that didn't pass.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Clock mock date. It's actually the one with the clock mock date.
We don't need that.
We can just do this?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because I think Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were adding those to get like debounce or something to work, and now debounce is mocked in our world.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should.
Okay.
We shouldn't need it. Oh man, not this thing.
But the timers IP is not mocked with fake timers. But we're mocking it with.
Oh, yes. And we don't want to. And this is another problem with our third-party code shift thing. When it realizes, oh, you want to fake stuff? Well, we're going to be nice and we're going to realify it on the after each. But we don't need that. We always want to fake.
Oh, nice.
Nice. But it was called 40 times. That was an overreaction.
Wait, 40 times? No, this one here, right?
74. Yeah, we expected a.
It's actually testing the timer, right? Like entering stuff 10 times and see if the debounce works, right? Yeah.
It used to be mocked and then it did one real one after the mock or something.
Yeah, you're right. But since we've mocked debounce.
To basically execute right away.
Right. I guess whatever our search input was, I guess we had like 40 characters. So that's why.
Wouldn't it make just sense to see if debounce was called, low-debounce was called, and then we know that it's debounce because we trust the implementation of low-debounce?
Yeah, so we have an issue to investigate. What can we do to our mock how do we want to confirm that we set up debounce correctly?
I mean, that should be pretty easy because you could go into the low-dash mock, right? It's like debounce. No, that's the wrong debounce. Isn't it in the mock somewhere?
So here's
couldn't we, because usually the interface of debounce is like the function and timeout, right? Couldn't we I don't know, do something like this, expect function to be, I don't know, can you check if something has a type?
Yeah, we could do that.
It says on line 4 in the future we could enhance this. Is that what we're doing or a different one?
I think we're doing this. One idea too. So we're kind of already asserting that this is a function because it's emitted something. Like the behavior is happening. So we don't necessarily need to assert maybe the types. I kind of would want to just assert, did we pass the right arguments? Like, are we debouncing with the right value? And one thing we could do is we can return a function, but let's add a Jest debounce args to that function we return. And then we can expect on that of like, hey, did I pass the right debounce args to this function or not? And we're getting hyper unit test focused right now, but that's kind of the world we're in right now. So it's
so you're saying that we should test that timeout actually is like 400 milliseconds or something.
Yeah, I think so. And we could just say, hey, is this function debounce? That's all we really need to.
I mean, so the easiest thing then would be is
so yeah,
I mean, to be honest, like I think this doesn't hurt though.
No, it doesn't. No, you're right.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's fine.
And we in our project, which one is it? The selector spec, right? We could just, or how do we access a global mock? Like,
so what we would do, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What we would do was we would access that function itself that's debounce, and we would do something like, hey, I expect this function dot, underscore Jest debounce mock to equal whatever, and that asserts, oh, we wrapped it in debounce, and we gave it this value. Now, some things this isn't going to work all the time because sometimes we debounce a function and that function isn't publicly accessible. So I don't have a great solution for now that we've mocked debouncing globally. I don't really know what's.
But couldn't we check here like that debounce was called with vm.emit?
Well, it's not emit that's debounced. It's the function we've given. It
Can we look at the code that's doing the debounce?
What'd you say?
So can we look at the code that's doing the debounce?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Wait, what is this testing?
I think we're going to we want to go to project selector, right?
Project. Oh yeah, true. I was also confused. I'm not confused. It's fine. Okay, what is debounced here? Debounce. On input is debounced.
Right. So in this case, we could assert, hey, does my, I don't like this test a whole lot, but here's what we could do. We could say, hey, does wrapper.vm.onEmit is it a debounced function? And since we've globally mocked debounce, we can kind of leave some artifact with everything we debounce behind for us to assert on.
Gotcha.
That's one approach, but I know that we have cases in our code where the debounced function isn't publicly accessible.
Doesn't matter right now because we have this one, right?
Okay.
So you're saying...
for jumping in. I really believe that we are adding close to zero value by asserting that the sum method is debounced. It's not a part of public API of the component at the moment, and it should never be. So basically, I believe that unless we have the best thing we could assert till we have some improvement in mock implementation is to make sure that debounce is called with some function and proper debounce time.
Yeah, which we now do globally.
Right.
Yeah, but we can. We could just import the debounce function in our spec. It will provide us the same mocked implementation, and if we return jest.fn in our mock, it will work like any other Jest function mock. So we could just have been called with. Yeah, this one will provide us the debounce from mocked instance.
Yes.
Yeah, but we still need to return a proper mock from the debounce mock. Right now we are returning fake function. It will not have the actual mocking functionality, we should return something like jest.fn, so we could so it will track calls.
The problem is if we return jest.fn, we remove the functionality, right? And
No,
tests could start
we
to
can
fail.
pass fn as the mock implementation of it. We can just wrap it in a jest function,
yes.
which gives us some tracking of it. This is so, and Ilya, and in case you're not familiar with why we had to mock the bounce globally, is it looks like Lodash doesn't have a trivial implementation for debounce. So when we mocked our timers, it just caused any test we're trying to make.
I'm aware of the context. Okay. I had just no time to dig into that because it seems really weird for me to hear that they're not using timers.
Yeah, no, and it's really, it is a weird problem, and this hurts, like, and I know that it probably hurts you as well, and I appreciate you chiming in, of like, we're no longer testing behavior of component, we're just testing, we're going like super mockist approach when it comes to debounce right now. And I'm not a huge fan of it, and I'm really up for a better solution here. But yeah.
Basically, what I see in the debounce.js code of Lodash, that they're just doing a very, very funny trick. They're putting the set timeout timer in the next request animation frame call. Probably they have a really good reasoning for do that. I have no idea, actually. So basically, that's the reason.
But it all doesn't matter for this actual test, right? So either we remove the test, or we test that it was called with the function. Sorry to stop here, but we're already half an hour in and we haven't moved like one problematic file.
Yeah.
No, you're
good. Yeah. So which function do we actually expect to?
We don't know. It's implementation detail of component. We just pass expect any function probably.
Yeah, and that's not awesome. So I would, because we want to. I'm fine if we want to, just for the sake of moving on, and in the merge request, we can maybe resolve this in the merge request. If we want to remove it and then figure out how do we want to handle that bit in the future. We want to make sure we haven't lost any test coverage, that this was also testing that something was emitted. We want to make sure we're still doing that.
Yeah, we're still doing that.
Okay. I'm fine with removing it for now, and hopefully in the merge request, maybe we can readdress
for sure.
asynchronously how best to handle it.
Why are we mocking? Yeah, makes sense. Sorry, never mind. Mock implementation.
We had all green checks just a second ago, right?
Yeah. I was just wondering why we're mocking VM emit anyway, but looks good to me now. This look good. I think we can remove this, right?
Yes, we can. Good catch.
And we can remove the import that we've added. And then we can move all of the project selector over here.
Sweet.
Cool. Suggestions spec. New path. Copy. Where's the... Okay, what does it do? Okay, that's interesting. VM from content generates a div table that includes contents of old line content.
What can we console log maybe those values and get some visibility of what's going on?
Yeah. I wonder, because my implementation says that from content is empty. Maybe if Karma did something not too nice, that it actually, hey, yeah, obviously something, from content doesn't even exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the question is, do we even test that?
What?
VM generate div.
Content is not a thing? So what does that mean?
I mean, if maybe Karma turns it into something like an empty string, like the
yeah, then it would always pass.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But no, but we're not doing we're not using like a karma match or something. We're doing a dot includes. So that shouldn't be. This is.
But if inner HTML is a string, and dot includes with if from content is like an empty string or nil or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we jump in? Maybe can we jump in? Can we try to determine what were we actually trying to test here?
Can you mean by looking at the history?
No, by diving into the code and saying what maybe maybe it's just
how are we
supposed?
It's the from content is just in the from content is just in the tests. It's nowhere in the code base.
But it might be called something different now. Like it could be just like from diff content or something like that. So it's just if we can just take a peek in the component, maybe something will jump out at us.
So we're calling generate diff.
But we don't have any like props here or data here that looks something similar. Like we don't think maybe we forgot to rename this when we were renaming things. Just
spec. Huh. Look, somebody already moved the suggestion spec. Oh no, that's JavaScript. Never mind. Fixed test specs 1 year ago. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Not too much history on this file.
What about on the component? That's the bit that I'm curious about is maybe we just renamed something on the component and we didn't rename it here because no test blew up because we're doing something weird with like includes.
Yup. App assets, JavaScripts. Remove unused child components. That sounds like something where something was removed.
It does. Good old Winnie.
No from content in this div.
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. I have no
history.
idea. What do you all think we should do? Is this is a markdown? This is in our markdown component or something?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, I have no idea.
See, it removed something. It's a prop. It was a prop before that was empty. Like default string is empty. And it had a from content thingy.
This is great. Awesome. Thanks for looking into the history. So we must have then it's now part of suggestion diff row. So hopefully that has coverage. And I'm jumping into their suggestion diff row of this thing.
Doesn't have from content anymore.
So this was trying to
be honest, like from content to why this
I think we're fine deleting it. I think so. It's in another component, and I think we can kind of hope that component had good coverage. And if we're not sure, we can also and at review time we can make changes to that actual subject and see if it caused any tests to fail, and we'll know if we lost coverage or not. So I'm fine with removing this test.
I have one more thought on the debounce thing. Is it possible to do like some sort of AOP-ish type thing to say this function should have been called somewhere in the call stack from within this other one. So you could just say like emit should have been called from within debounce. Is that possible in any way?
It's really interesting. I don't know. I'm sure it's possible.
I mean, one of
Because
the
that's
things
what
that
we'd want to do. Like that's really all you care about, not how debounce worked or what it called or anything.
I mean, debounce is actually just called once. It isn't called in the call stack anymore, right? Because the bounce is just called when you actually create the component. And because I assume that the bounce returns some function or something. Like the bounce is basically like a factory function. So the only thing that the thing that you might want to test is, hey, did we call the bounce in the when the component was created, right? Something like that, like resetting like the call stack stuff from Jest on in a before each or something, mounting the component. Hey, and the bounce has been called with this function and this timeout as a argument.
Ideally, we can simulate the behavior and then have an expect helper to expect like this kind of behavior.
To be honest, though, to me it kind of feels like you would be testing, for example, hey, I'm using parse int and parse int has been called with a number and it's kind of why are we like testing debounce?
Yeah, no, and I agree. That's
like Ilya mentioned, right?
Yeah, it's a tough problem. I'm up for improving it for sure. Yes, let's delete it. Woo! We've deleted 2 tests so far. We're like, this one's too hard. It's just like
No, I mean, what's worse than non-existing tests is bad tests.
It creates
at least my
kind of
opinion.
calls. Yep.
So which one do we want? Deprecated modal 2.
Deprecated modal 2. Oh man. That's
okay. Components diff viewer spec. That's good.
Might be real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to chime in around the includes thing. You're looking for that from content. I just confirmed that if you includes undefined, it returns true.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, that's really terrible.
Oh my gosh. So
So that's
string dot includes
Undefined
undefined.
equals true.
No, it equals false for me.
Okay, well, that HTML.includes, if you just pass in undefined instead of vm.fromContent, it still returns true.
Really?
It passes the test.
That's really weird. From the Karma is what you're saying.
From Karma, yeah, running it in Karma.
Maybe it literally contains undefined.
Maybe it does.
Because the fixture is wrong or something.
Yeah.
That's scary. I have no idea. Oh, wow. Maybe you're right. That's a really good point. I don't know.
That sounds fun. Tabs. Oh, what's this? Why? Tabs. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I didn't complain. Set immediate done. Why are we doing set immediate done?
So
why do we?
Our code mod changes all set timeouts to set immediate because timeout is mocked, but immediate is not. So you can really just get rid of it and return a promise. And really, what we mean to do is like wait for next tick or something.
I'm just wondering the way how we mount here, why we do it. But yeah.
It seems small enough we can move it to view test utils and probably solve a number of other
import it's shallow mount, right? No, we need a full mount here, probably mount from view test utils.
Right. But what's interesting is we're going to be this test tests a component using the subject. So we interface with that component using the subject by creating this kind of wrapping component.
Yes, that's actually something that's sometimes useful, especially like with like these tabs where you wanna check like the behavior of the child components, right?
Yep. So I think what we'd want to do is we can do this outside the before each, but I think we want to create like a test tab component.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. And equals view extend.
And then we just do like the return, VM equals, sorry.
For consistency, we'll call it wrapper because VM
I
is
know,
a property.
I know. Just mount wrapper component, right? Yep. Then we're already done. I'm just replacing, as a first step, I'm just replacing that with wrapper.vm.el.
Or element.
Right?
Element is actually a first level property of wrapper. You can just go wrapper.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. You can just go
just
wrapper
like
element.
Just like this?
Well, it's actually element and it's no $sign. Yeah.
Okay. And then we just rename this one to wrapper. So now let's have a look if cool. Yeah, done.
Sweet.
Call it a day.
That rocked.
Component. And it's funny that it, checks for some tab links, which is like the internal implementation of tab, instead of just checking, that 2 tabs are rendered. But I mean, we have 13 minutes and a few components left, right?
Yep. Hey, but we're this is pretty good. We have 13 minutes left. I think we could do this.
Definitely. I always like your enthusiasm. So, user avatar.
I gotta jump off. I got a retro coming up in the next hour. Thanks.
See you, Chad. Thanks for hopping on.
See ya. Thank you for joining. Oof, this sounds rough as well.
So to paint a prettier picture, with these things, when they all fail, they actually end up being easy because it's usually they all fail for the same reason. So let's dive into it. Oh yeah, this is a super small one. We could probably fix this by moving it to view test utils too. What do you think, Justin and Laura?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's worked in the past. Paul soothed my rough feathers the same way before, and he was totally right.
Is there, Laura, is there anything you would change with how we're approaching this?
No, it's going really smoothly, to be honest.
Okay.
What's up with that deprecated modal spec, though? Do we need that at all if the modal is deprecated? I mean,
sorry.
Really good question.
It's this is like, why is there even like this? So yeah, we still need the tests because they are still there. People haven't stopped using them. I think we probably use like real bootstrap modules. We use like a deprecated 1, deprecated 2, and we use the one from GitLab UI in case we have one. So yeah, just the usual GitLab. Hey, this doesn't work as expected. Let's create a new one without any blame to people who have done this in the past. I also have done this in the past, but it's just like, and I really like that they actually called deprecated modules. So because it actually stopped people from using them. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
We only have one instance of deprecated modal. So.
Oh.
Yeah, we could probably get rid of it pretty soon. That would be exciting.
Maybe we don't move the test then if we just have one instance of it. Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's probably easier to just switch out the modal.
But with these MRs, when you make production code changes, the MRs actually take a lot slower because it has to run all the production code tests as opposed to just our spec pipeline. So I would recommend doing that probably in a separate MR.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's a really good idea. If I ever direct an action movie, I think I want to call it deprecated modal 2.
You need a colon subtitle though.
That's true.
Deprecated modal 2, the Justice.
Cannot set prop data of undefined.
Oh, because you're doing that. Oh, if you go back. Oh, yes, this dot stuff is not going to work. And this brings up a really good thing that I'm glad we're talking about right now. Can you take 30 seconds to go on a little trip with me, Lucas?
Depends on what kind of trip you're talking about.
Can you open up the codemod, project? If you go to index.js, you see there's this big comment. I'm commenting out line 13. There is a transformer for transforming specs that do the this dot instead of like keeping locally scoped variables and stuff.
Yeah.
But it blows up if it doesn't use this. So it's commented out by default. But if you ever run into it, you may want to uncomment that.
And I think this is where we end up in a pickle, because if I recall correctly, the Vue test utils don't work well with SVGs. Could that be true?
I don't know. We may need to.
Is it like this?
This is a really weird way to. This is a really weird way to test what it's doing.
I mean, it's checking. It's basically an SVG, and if I recall correctly, I'm not 100% sure. Where is this component actually used? To be honest. Oh, it's used in the tests. That's nice.
That's it. It's not used anywhere else. User avatar SVG. Oh yeah, let's delete this. Let's delete it. Oh
Let's just double check.
I checked it locally, but yeah, you should double.
I'm double checking. I don't trust you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's used in the specs. That's always nice.
Delete it.
That's even better than deleting. To be honest, like with user avatar, are we using the other user avatar?
Yeah,
stuff?
we use. I'm fairly certain we use a little bit stuff from the other user avatar. We have like user avatar link and that user avatar image. I'm pretty sure we use.
Oh yes, we use those.
Yeah. Probably worth moving over to GitLab UI or something.
We have avatars in GitLab UI.
Well, then it's probably worth adding deprecated to these.
Cool. Project avatar. It's better than removing the spec, just remove everything, right? So, we have mock data here by itself.
Oh, nice.
No usages.
Well, it won't have any usages because you're in view shared new, right? Well, maybe. I don't know.
True. That's a good point. Let's have a look if we use it in JavaScript's view shared components. Where is it? Like label select.
Is this in dashboards
Sidebar.
mock data? Is that
No, here.
This is label select. Yeah, it looks like drop down, create label spec. Oh my gosh.
Drop down footer spec is using it.
But these are just tests in the first place. So it looks like.
And if the drop down footer spec is the only one using it, like import wise, right?
Drop down create label, drop down footer, and drop down value collapse spec seem to be using it. So there's a couple of them.
Import Oh, this is not smart.
Yeah, if you do view shared and then or like a label select mock data, you'll see it.
But they are all using it from the old place, right?
Yeah, they're all using it from Karma, even though they've been moved to Jest. So
and they are all under labeled. Yeah, labeled select. That makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
I think
so
we
the
just need
thing
to
that
move it over. Yeah.
Yep. So labeled select, we just move it here.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully update the imports too.
Yeah, it should. Which files were it? Like drop down
it
footer.
Was create label spec.
Yeah, see, this is if you use.
Oh, wow.
In case you use a real editor, right?
Wow. That's
Never
pretty
mind.
impressive. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean that's why it took like 10 minutes to start up, but yeah. Copy path. Okay. WP. Oh, default spec. Oh yeah, you mentioned these.
Yep.
Right? Like spec IDE mock data, something is off there.
We can call it Jest. Instead of spec / it could be Jest /. And then the other one too is a test host. But that's actually in helpers, so it's called helpers. We're not super intentional when we rename some of these, I think.
Renders avatar image. Oof. This is not nice.
So this is, are we doing a, to contain element, let's just do query selector and then to be truthy, right? It looks like to contain element isn't a thing, right?
Yes. No, it actually, so it searches for mount component. So this is using our normal mount component helper. So the thing that, queries, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was, it's Friday.
Yeah.
To be truthy?
This one is going to be truthy, right? Yeah. And then the other one, we have a not to contain element. We would want to do query selector to be null or undefined, I guess. Boom.
Cool. Project avatar. Oh, we don't have the folder. Beep, 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 beep. It's actually not that bad, right?
Nope.
Issue. Oh, see? Oh.
That's one that we won't need to move over.
Yeah, let's just have a double check. Where was it? Related issuable mock data, right? Component issue.
I'll see who's using it. Related issuable mock data. I don't see it at all. Why don't I see it?
Oh, yeah, fuel imports. And the one, it's funny, the one that's already moved. The one that's already moved is still using the old import.
The related issuable item spec. We just moved those, right?
No, they are still. Yeah, we moved the last one, so we just need to adjust like the import on this one, and then we can delete it as well.
Yeah, sweet.
So I'm just going to delete it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then we have this one, and we just need to find where it is, so we can say, hey, we have this one from here.
Oh, but it's in the same directory as this file, so we probably should just do a relative.
Yeah, I hope that we finally can update ESLint import, because that will, has a setting now to do all that stuff, and
Oh wow.
No useless directories and stuff like that.
Cool. That's really neat.
So let's have a search again, so we can remove it from the new as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So goodbye. Have a nice day.
Cool. Well, we are at 10. Do we want to do one more? You guys want to call it?
If you don't need to jump to another meeting, because this is the last thing I will do today, I will just finish the rest if nobody. And if you want to stay on, you can stay on. I also do it by myself.
Okay.
I mean, I'm easy either way.
Right.
We also have EE spec. Wait. Oh, we still have an EE spec that wants it.
Okay. That was a good find.
Yeah. So, but oh god.
See alarm.
Yeah. So the thing is here we could just go into this spec, right? Like this, and use like the up import path thingy. Know what I mean?
Oh,
like
we could use but this is a JavaScript. This is a JavaScript file or a Karma file, right? Yeah, we could just keep going up like that. Ideally, what we had done to make it easier to import these to Jest,
we would have added an alias.
What do you say?
We could have added like an alias in
Karma. Yeah.
Yeah, spec, front end, view shared, components. No, it's not under components. Where is it actually?
I would suggest just leaving this, since it's still used, this adapter mock data thing for Karma. I would suggest just leaving it there since it's still being used. Because that keeping the import to be the same across Karma and Jest helps technically with like when we do migrate this spec over to Jest. But since this is an EE looking at CE, it's not like it is still going to be the same. So I don't know. I would suggest for this kind of file, we should only be our migrations for these mock datas we've done to adapt and wrap around Jest stuff. Like we don't need to worry about those until we've moved everything that's using it. And it looks like something's still using it. So I'd suggest not moving it yet.
Okay. Your long story short is don't delete the file.
Yes. Thanks. Oh, is this still part of your IDE?
No, this is just like another tool that I use for staging. I should really check out because it has like VCS features, but I didn't use them yet, so I don't know. So here. I mean, to be honest, like another thing we could think about, I don't know how many specs are actually in this folder.
Yeah.
Because it's just the store. And to be honest, stores are often like really easy to migrate, right?
Yep. Yeah,
like,
I'm up for it. Hey, we have 300 of these left. And anytime we just, a drop in the bucket is gonna help.
I mean, they're just like 2 files here. I don't understand it. Like, right. Like
we could try to just move them along. I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it after we've dealt with the other ones.
That's a good call.
Yeah. So where were we? Spec, front end. Where are the new ones? View shared. What? Am I confused? We're under EE right now. Yes. I was wondering. Where are the view shared is also, we could just call it like everything, right? It's funny what's all in here.
Yeah. We've kind of had while you're doing this, we've had discussion about, how do we, and Justin, you chimed in too, I think, but how do we mark something as reusable? And I kind of feel like things should be reusable by default. And I like having things organized by features.
Yeah.
Because now we have this huge bucket called view shared. And I think there's very little discoverability of what's actually reusable here.
Which one is it? Drop down button spec, right? And which one is renders slot? Renders slot. Okay, not to contain, right? Query selector. By the way, one question, right? to be null or to be null. There is actually linting for it, and the linting would prefer this.
Yeah.
Which I also prefer, but yeah, but
I like
whatever.
I like the to be null function rather than the to be pass in the null. That's just me.
Okay, same thing here with the mock data. I mean, I can delete it from the new folder, right?
I guess so.
File
unless
finder.
we don't need that mock data.
Yeah, we will see.
Okay, it's in source control.
Exactly. Oh yeah. It's an easy one.
Oh man.
What's this? Shouldn't this just be helpers?
It should. Yep.
No, it doesn't exist.
What? It does.
Why is there another mount component helper?
I think there's one in Karma and one in Jest.
Why are your specs still running?
Yeah, that's scary. Uh-oh. Do we have some sort of recursion?
I mean, they should time out, right? I mean,
yeah,
one passed and the other didn't. Maybe just like 5 seconds. What is this doing?
Well, if
probably
it's
loading like a complete Monaco.
If it's using that that our deprecated unfortunate mount helper thing, that'll do it.
What's the set timeout promise helper?
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's scary. Oh, no wonder. Yeah, that's gonna just die because set timeout is mocked. So we probably want to just replace it with a wait for promises.
Yeah.
I mean, but it actually looks like we really want to do next tick like here because we're changing something. You know what I mean? I think we really want to just do next tick here.
Wait for promises?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going with this one, and once it works, we can remove it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm thinking of starting a post emo rock band called Wait for Promises.
That's incredible.
Those tests are long.
Yeah, and it's because we do that funky actually mount thing. We're doing it for every spec, as opposed to doing what vtest utils could do.
So we're mounting to hashtag app. What's hashtag app?
Oh yeah, that's scary.
Fix. Oh god. Yeah, obviously this takes longer, right?
Yeah. Could we? What happens if we don't?
I feel bad if we change this. Not change this.
Or you'd feel bad leaving it as it is. Well, can we try getting rid of the hashtag app? Like, why? Sometimes we can just do $mount and it mounts to like some, or we can even pass in a virtual element. We don't have to actually,
Can we just do this and call it a day?
Yeah, that's fine.
VM mount. Which component are we testing? Find file component.
Yeah, we don't need this extend thing.
So we don't need view here. We don't need the fixtures.
We don't need the vm.mount.
Yes, true.
Oh. And then, yeah, we'll want to use the wrapper set props instead of the VM stuff. I think that's this error that's being thrown. It wants us to, it sounds like it wants us, because
yeah, we don't have the wrapper right now, unfortunately. But
yeah, I'd say let's, yep.
Dot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think the other way around, Lucas, right?
Nope.
Okay, that's cool.
No, I forgot the dot.
No!
What? The dot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we call this thing wrapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that here we should like
wrapper.setProps.
Is it a prop?
That's what it
looks like an attribute to me, like something in the.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Which one was it? Search text, right? It's a vModel thingy.
It's a data. We want to use set data, I guess.
Don't we? Can we do that directly?
Yeah, there's like a, well, I don't know.
Set data? No.
Which one is, so I think we may be targeting the wrong spec here, because the one that seems to be failing is called return search tag when false.
To be honest, like I think the thing that's failing is not because, sorry, never mind. Oof. What? Cannot spy on toggle property? Oh wow, we've broke more.
Oh God! It is visible. Oh no, gosh, that's got to be some sort of implementation bug.
I have an idea.
Just delete it.
Yeah, we don't move those two to Karma, right?
That's fine.
To just in this iteration.
Yeah, that's good.
Copy prof from source. P bop bop. That's the one. Let's see. What is 7 failed? Okay. So my question would be: we saw that the deprecated modal just has one usage, right? Am I right?
Yep.
Why am I? Something changed my config. Oh no, not the spec, right?
And not Jet.js. Yeah.
Oh, the deprecated modal 2 though is used though, right? So I would check if we should move deprecated. You know, to be honest, like I feel actually pretty confident and nice because we already moved a lot of specs.
Yeah.
Maybe as a final thing, I would just move the. Like the final. What you may call it, the final.
The final countdown.
Yeah,
exactly. There's the GL countdown spec right there.
Oh, no, I would just move the ones that we move now and call it a day.
That makes sense. No, that's a good call. This was a lot. Hey, Justin, you challenged us to move view shared, and I think we did a lot of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's see how much we did actually. Okay, changes 41.
Wow.
So we removed the useless thingy, right? Okay, cool. We removed the useless thingy.
Yeah. I guess so.
Let's do a separate commit for this one, if you all agree.
For the useless thing? Yeah. That makes sense.
Spec.
Oh, but we also got to get rid of the.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, let's just do like this, and then we can call it a day, right?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Now it's a bit tricky. Do we want this change to the loadash function or don't we want
I would
this
say
changed?
not yet.
Okay. Cool. So we have a new content. We have the user avatar thingy, right? So where is it?
So if you add everything, you might be able to.
Yes. Thank you. You're smart.
Okay.
You're so smart because then we can just remove the stuff that we've deleted.
Yep.
Oh, super smart.
Woohoo.
Wait, the tab spec though?
Sometimes, so if we drastically changed one, no, we want to include that. If we drastically changed something, it won't treat it as a rename, and it'll treat it as a delete and an add. So that might be what's going on too there.
Discard changes. I mean, we moved both of the tab specs, right? We created this one. This one is moved. Yeah, here someone adjusted the paths. Okay, this one I don't want to commit.
You gotta add that to git ignore.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Is that something that your IDE leaves behind?
No, this is something I'm using ASDF.
Right.
Which is like a version manager for everything. And apparently it creates this file. I just could add it, ignore tool versions. No, that's not what I want.
Well, is that something we want to do? I created a MAR for.
Actually, would like us all to convert to it, right? Like so.
Okay.
Anyway.
So maybe we don't want to ignore it yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot. We've also now deleted everything but the stuff that we wanted to delete. So we also wanted to delete this one, right? And then we can do an extra commit for removing the avatar in its spec.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Now
the one thing we should do.
Oh, you don't have prettier running on save?
Oh, wow. This is the countdown spec?
Oh, but this is a shared new. This is something, it looks like it touched stuff in shared new, which we don't want to add, right?
View share. Yes, but we just want to. We want to remove the shared new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why did we add it here? Oh, shit. Sorry.
No, I think you're good to go still. I think you just want to add those things, and then I think.
Yeah.
I think if you add everything in front end, you should be good, or spec front end.
Now I'm super confused.
Yeah, I would. I think you want to add the staged front end view shared components, or the unstaged ones. Sorry.
I want everything in view shared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Let's do it in a command line. Good. Add spec view shared. No.
See you, Justin.
What? View shared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. rm-rf spec front end view shared new. Good. Now, where's the user avatar? I definitely, we're going to add all of these. No, let's do it. Sorry. Sorry, I'm a bit ignoring today.
No, you're good.
On stage. I want to add this one.
Okay.
And the user avatar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Git commit. Remove unused user avatar component. What? Remove unused user avatar component.
You might need to add a, I don't know if you need to add a line between the. between the title and the comment?
No.
Okay. Woohoo!
The only thing that's annoying, it will probably haunt us for 30 lines changed without a body description. You know?
But I think it's also limited by files too. Like the number of files you touch. I'm not entirely sure, but you're probably right. I don't know. Woohoo!
Okay. So we need to not do these.
This is it, I think, right?
No. These we don't do.
Oh, we don't want to delete these, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good call.
Because everything else is
good. Yep.
Is, it's just some changes with some imports.
Yep. You're right.
This one we basically have rewritten, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that it doesn't pick it up because, to be honest, like doesn't look.
It's
too
pretty
different.
similar. No, but we did every line is now wrapper instead of vm.l. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
Cool. It could be smarter.
So the mock data, what does the mock data and label select do?
We just moved it. And so now we moved all of the references because remember we saw there was no karma test looking at this. We just moved all the references to now use a relative path instead of us looking all the way back in karma.
Sidebar label select. Okay, yeah, true. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
I would commit it before it accidentally gets reverted.
Git commit move a lot of view shared specs to Jest.
Mm-hmm. You can add something about our debounce. We removed a few specs that weren't needed.
This moves a lot of specs. We removed a few tests that were testing nothing or the internals of debounce, right?
Yep. That makes sense. Sweet.
Oh, I committed a master. Good that I'm not a maintainer.
You can't push to master, right? Maintainers can't push to master anyways. I'm pretty sure. I hope not. Because I would have probably blown something up then.
Well, I think you can turn off the recording.
All right. Hey, well, this is fun.